Okay, this is part 2 of your test. If you haven't done part 1, make sure you go back and listen to the first video. You should be right here at question 35. Source B, account of the setting up of self-government. From the Charter for the Bureau of Ipswich, 1200, agreed to by King John. Many of the rules contained in this document were created by people who were elected by members of the whole town. The Common Council shall elect one honest and lawful man to be alderman, senior leader of the guild merchant. 4 honest and lawful men of that same town shall be associated with him. The aldermen and these same shall swear that they will faithfully maintain the guild. Number 35, source B, pause and write your genre-based thinking job here. Source C. Geoffrey I. Baker, a clerk at Oxford, England, wrote the following account as an eyewitness in 1348. In the Middle Ages in Western Europe, a clerk was a member of the upper class able to read and write. At first, the plague carried off almost all of the inhabitants of the seaports in Dorset, and then those living away from the coast. From there, it raged so dreadfully through Dorset and Somerset as far as Bristol. The men of Gloucester refused to allow people from Bristol into their region, as they all thought that the breath of those who lived among people who died of plague was infectious. But at last it attacked the whole of England so violently that barely 1 in 10 was left alive. Number 36, write your genre-based thinking job here. Pause the video so you have time. Source D. Excerpt from the Statute of Laborers issued by King Edward III in 1351. Any person required to serve may only take the wages given in the places where he owed service before 1346 and the Black Death. If any reaper, mower, or other workman or a servant who is retained in any man's service departs from his service without reasonable cause, he shall be imprisoned. Number 37, pause and write your genre-based thinking job in the box. Source E. Jean Froissart, French court historian, 1337 to 1405. Composed an extensive of the events of Western Europe throughout the 14th century. The following narrative describes some of the events of the Peasant Rebellion in 1381. They broke into many houses belonging to Lombards, foreign merchants, and robbed them openly, no one daring to resist them. In the town they killed a wealthy man called Richard Lyon, whom Wat Tyler once served during the wars in France. On one occasion, Richard Lyon had beaten his servant, and Wat Tyler remembered it. Tyler led his men to Richard Lyon and had his head cut off in front of him. He then had Lyon's head stuck on a lance and carried through the streets. So those wicked men went raging about in wild frenzy, committing many excesses on that Thursday throughout London. Number 38, pause and write your genre-based thinking job here. Directions. Based on the information you gathered in sources A through E, write an essay answering the following. What caused the decline of feudalism and how did it impact life in Europe? In your response, make sure to, number 39, include a thesis that clearly answers the question, 2 points. 40, include evidence from at least 3 sources, 4 points. Pause the video and spend the rest of the time writing your essay that answers this question. What caused the decline of feudalism and how did it impact life in Europe? You may use your test to help you figure out the answer.